Hi everyone.
Hi, hi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, clear.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Firstly, I would like to thank you. Thanks everyone for inviting me. It was really, really good to see all the detailed presentations around the bamboo standards. So as a background, my name is Munir. I work for a company called Giant Grass, and we have been working, designing and building with bamboo for more than 15 years. So I'm originally from India, and I started working with bamboo in India. Now living in Australia, I've worked and run workshops for a long time. The key thing I would like to highlight from today's presentations that I've noticed is that it is really, really important if we want to sort of promote the use of bamboo on a large scale. Standards play a big role. Having good standards means it is easier for people to build with the material, and it also makes it easier for authorities to approve the material, and that will in the end result in the increased uptake of using bamboo. Bamboos obviously has, some people consider it as a poor man's timber, and it is also used for very luxury structures now for resorts and things like that. So um, standardization and having the right standards is quite important. If you would have noticed, most of the standards around bamboo are from so-called developing countries. It is still very, very tricky and difficult to build a bamboo building using, bamboo as a structural element in most Western countries. You can't easily build one. You can if you have, but you have to go through a lot of detailed structural analysis and processes. And that is due to the lack of standards in most developed countries around bamboo. I'm not sure if it was mentioned at the start, but there is, the new ISO standards for bamboo construction came out in 2021. And that is a huge step. Those standards are updated after a long time. And those ISO standards form the basis of a lot of these, round column bamboo standards, and it brings a lot of other knowledge together in one place. Um, I think that's quite important to note because the more standards we have, it makes it much easier for people to build with bamboo. The other thing I would highlight from the presentation, it was really interesting to see, different people from different countries talking about standards in their countries, um, especially looking at the presentation from Mr. Saputara. I think he mentioned quite clearly around the limitations of bamboo. And that is very important to understand because my background's architecture. I'm an architect. I like to design structures, but it is the structural engineers who actually make them stand. So a lot of the work that I have done so far has been focused on using the structural of qualities of bamboo intuitively and then testing it further to make sure it will be suitable for construction. Mr. Saputara mentioned a bit about, so what are the key challenges and what are we willing to accept? So there's always a balance. He mentioned things about wind loading, the drift for the stories, etc. And you can see clearly that bamboo has its limitations. And like that, every material has its limitations. So it's very important to understand those limitations and design within those limits. Concrete has different strength, steel has different strength. They have different environmental impacts. Bamboo has, potential, it has lower environmental impact, but it has probably reduced life. For example, I was quite, you know, surprised and also interested to hear that the lifespan that the Green School was built was around 25 years, which is slightly less than what you would normally expect a building's lifespan to be, which is 40 to 50 years. But one needs to consider the overall environmental impact of a material. Lifespan is only one thing. A building may last longer, but the material might have a longer impact. So thank you for all the wonderful presentations. I'll keep it short because I know people have lots of questions, and it would be good to hear some of those questions and respond to them. Thank you.
You can continue. We have kept the question answer by inbox only. If you have any more to
Oh, okay.
say, you can just say. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fine. I think, yeah. So, I'll maybe a couple of things in Australia, for example, using my work experience here. Um, what I've built some structures that have, that have been permanent, and we have done a lot of ephemeral structures, but Australia doesn't have any construction standards for bamboo. So we sometimes get a lot of people interested in wanting to bring or build bigger structures out of bamboo, like more permanent buildings. But then they get discouraged because there are no standards for bamboo construction in Australia. So what it means is, if you want to build something, you have to use external standards like ISO standards, or standards from South America, and then apply them. But you still have to test the bamboo poles separately to understand that the bamboo that were used there and the ones you're using here, they are equivalent. So that puts a lot of challenge, and it discourages people. So that's where I think having these kind of standards can play a huge role in use of bamboo as a construction material. The second aspect is how you use bamboo. I think it's most important. So, each material has its strengths and weaknesses, and understanding that and using that material to maximize its strength is very important. There are a lot of other sustainable natural materials. Bamboo is one of them, I would say. So there is, earth construction, there is cob, rammed earth, mud brick. Hempcrete is becoming quite popular. And bamboo is another awesome material, as everyone here is aware. What is important is to combine these materials to create a sustainable building. Using bamboo for everything is possible, but it is not necessary to use bamboo for everything, because sometimes other materials might do a better job, and in the end, it will give us a better outcome in the long term. Thank you.
Thank you, Munir. Thank you so much.